The West Coast Main Line is one of the busiest rail lines now in Europe, and you know there has been a revolution in train travel. And if somebody had stood up at the third reading of the privatisation of the railways and said that by privatising the railways we will unleash a revolution as far as the railways are concerned, I think some people might have just said that they were perhaps overstretching the mark. But that's exactly what has happened. We have seen a revolution in rail travel in this country. 750 million journeys in 1992, 1.6 billion last year. But I can't go from London to Birmingham on high-speed trains, but I can go across to the continent. I can't go from London to Leeds, to Manchester. And if we want our great cities, Birmingham is a great city. I grew up 20 miles away from here. If we want those cities to be able to compete, I want to see the kind of revolution that we've seen around King's Cross and St Pancras. What we're also doing is making sure that between the stations that we're announcing, we've got the very, very best connectivity, both to serve Nottingham and to Derbyshire and Leicestershire as far as the Token site is concerned. But no station sites have yet been confirmed. And the simple fact is that if you look at where we've got our problems, it is about capacity. It is about how do you address capacity in the longer term. And we're seeing growth. And if we carry on seeing that growth, those services are not going to be available. So we come under a huge amount of pressure from places like Milton Keynes and Rugby for more services. We can't provide those more services because we haven't got the capacity. And that is what we're talking about. It is how do you upgrade the overall capacity of the railway network, and that is the decisions that we've taken and why we've taken those particular decisions. Because I want to see more freight on the railways. The thing that's stopping that at the moment is capacity. The city leaders regard it as absolutely essential to get that kind of capacity into their cities that this is built. So it's not just me saying that, it's the Labour leaders in those particular cities looking to the future of their cities and to how they compete and operate. This is the best way of giving that capacity and freeing up those lines for other local services. This isn't going to be something that suddenly detracts, it's going to add to the overall infrastructure of the United Kingdom. If we're going to be able to give you more services throughout the day, then the only way we do that is by giving more capacity. And the best way to increase capacity on the whole network is actually through a new line, hence High Speed 2. It's not about London or elsewhere, it's how do we get that opportunities that we're seeing in London. How do we get them in Birmingham? How do we get them in Manchester? Look at what's happening around King's Cross. Google there, the Crick Centre about to open. But I want to see that kind of investment in Birmingham. I want to see that kind of investment in Manchester. And if we're to attract investment from around the world, actually good, solid communications are absolutely essential. You don't spend this kind of investment without really looking as to how you maximise the regeneration. Yes, around where the actual stations are, they're going to be important hubs, but not just around the stations, because you can spread it out as well. Because engineers are in demand across and around the world. So I don't think there's any doubt about that. You know, if you look at our infrastructure builds that we've done over the past few years, there is no doubt about the role of the engineer, and I think that they are, without doubt, long-term jobs. The simple fact is that the easy thing for us to do is not to build high-speed rail. It would be the easy answer. Quite often politicians are attacked for not looking at the long-term future of our country. And actually, doing high-speed 2 is about the long-term of our country. The truth of the matter is, high-speed rail isn't about 30 years. It's about the next 100 years. That's what it's about. And actually, if you think back to last winter, that awful, terrible winter that we had, there was only one railway line which was able to run throughout the whole of the winter, and that was High Speed 1. Why? Because it's built to modern engineering standards. and we'll be building HS2 to modern engineering standards.